if somebody's listening right now and they're like, you know what, I'm a Christian, I ride motorcycles. What would you recommend they do to get involved? Is it just go to that website, or is there any
I would
other?
do it exactly the way I did it. If you want, like CMA, if you want to get into it, go on the website. It gives everything you want to know about, CMA, plus the member training is on there. Everything you want to know is on CMA USA, and then find a chapters on there too. And it's got every chapter in the United States. You can look it up state by state. So wherever you're from, you can join CMA, and then look up your local chapter closest to you.
Now, being that you guys are involved in a chapter, Soldiers of the Cross, say like a CMA has a run up to Laconia, right? That's something that I know about. Could you actually go with another chapter, or do you guys try to stick together as a group?
They go up to, CMA goes to Laconia. I guess there's other groups up there, but the Soldiers of the Cross goes up there every year and puts up a tent outside of Laconia.
And you guys would put up a tent and go to something like that and just spread the ministry and spread the word.
Correct. Yep.
And that's part, like, you guys would all travel together as a group up there?
Yep. That's what we normally do is we'll always, whatever run is coming up, it's posted. We all meet up at a certain point, and your kickstands are up at a certain time. So we know when we're going to get to this run. And a lot of times you get to a run early, because as you get there, the other guys are coming in. And that's when we have time to, as they're dismounting and getting ready to sign up or whatever they're going to do, you have time to get into a conversation with them,
Now, do you guys have, and again, I'm just saying from a broad view of understanding of a motorcycle club, I mean, do you guys have officers within the club, like a treasury, secretary?
Yep. President, vice president, I was going to say the president. He's the his name is Roadrunner, but he handles all the road captain. That's his title. He's the road captain of the chapter. It got me a little bit sideways because his nickname is Roadrunner, but he's the road captain. So what he does is he handles when we're going to head out, where we're going, how we're going to stagger. Sequence of between each bike, and then we do a pray up before we leave, a group prayer and a huddle, and then we go, and he's the lead guy, and sometimes we have a guy in the back, so that everybody's. If you picture it, it's like a truck pulling a huge trailer. So when you get everybody staggered and they're 1 or 2, 3 seconds apart, nobody can get in and gap on you. And when you come into an intersection, they see you, and it's just like a big train. It's a lot of fun.
You just opened my eyes to something. So when you see these groups doing a run, there's actually a method to the madness of how they're lined up and who's in the front and who's in the back.
So to speak, like in our group, we're organized. Sometimes when you're on these runs, it's just everybody's there. And the run takes off, and you have some chaos sometimes because they're not organized. We are as a group. Some of them aren't. So not every run is all, set up like
that. I never knew that. That's amazing that, there's, organization to you guys.
It's all the way down to even your hand signals, It's like if you're going along and he puts up 2 fingers, that means you can ride, staggered. If he puts up 1, that means the road's getting narrow. Everybody want get in a single file. You put another hand up. There's a bicyclist on the right hand side that he sees, and we're going to come by him. There's all kinds of ways of doing it that you ride a lot safer than normal. Than people that's just out there doing what they want.
So when you guys are communicating, it's by hand signals. You guys don't have radios. Oh wow!
It's a pre-up before we go, and mainly hand signals.
Okay.
The other
Now,
guys, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry.
No, it's just like, I know the road captain, sometimes he has a telecom and he can talk to a guy in the back, but everybody else is just hand signals.
Now, do you have any church leaders in your group, like pastor? I know we're all,
Yes,
leaders.
we have a guy named Steve Dean who's the chapter chaplain, and he does we have a meeting once a month, and when we start the meeting, he does a sermon, probably a good half an hour, and it's always very very informative. He's very good. So he's the chaplain of the group, and that's what you stress on it too. We don't call it a motorcycle club; it's a motorcycle ministry.
Right.
So it's a difference. I mean, but it is set up just like any other motorcycle club.
That's awesome. Well, this enlightened me a lot, Bob. Just learning about this and kind of all the things that you had to go through to actually become a part of this group as well, this ministry group. So I want to let everybody know the website is cmausa.com. Bob Roy is a member of the Christian Motorcycle Association. That's what stands for CMA USA. His chapter is Soldiers of the Cross here in the Northeast. Bob, what would you say your territory is like of the members of your ministry? Is it mainly Southeast Mass? Is there people that are in Rhode Island as well?
Yes, it's mainly Southeastern Mass, and there are other chapters that overlap that, into like the Worcester area and Rhode Island, but mainly we're down here for, Southeastern Mass, in the Cape.
So, Bob, we talked about doing this and having this conversation. Was there anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to bring up about the group, about the ministry, or about you personally?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. And I hope I didn't get too long-winded as far as the whole history of me and motorcycles. It's just one of those things that I've loved to do my whole life. And like I said, I have generational things going on with it now. And I always look back at, boy, what a ride, literally from 13 years old to here I am now and spreading the gospel on a Harley. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy.
Well, you said something that struck me was looking for a platform, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, okay, well, you're a pastor, you're leading a church that, we go to see you on Sunday, but I don't think people realize what you just talked about was finding a platform to share your story, share the gospel. I think is very motivating for people that could be involved with various things: motorcycle, sports, business, life. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty amazing.
So you were able to combine your love from the age of 13 of motorcycles to now being a part of that and using that platform and using your love of the motorcycle to pass the gospel on to people that may not even know you're going to chat with them about it.
Yeah. And it's, I look back on my life now and from that point all the way to now was God's plan all the way to this point. And that's how I did get kind of the idea. Was there was one guy in my Bible study that his platform was going out at night and being out there with the homeless. He loved doing that. So I'm like, well, I got to figure my thing out. And this is what I did. So.
Well, again, it's very inspiring, and it was one of the reasons that I wanted to chat with you. Mainly because people could have a negative perception based on movies, right? Based on, things in the past. I know my uncle used to paint motorcycles, and it'd be all these people around from all these various motorcycle groups, and they were just amazing, amazing people. Yet they had that perception of being rough and tumble and tough. And
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And I think the movies has a lot to do with it. So this was interesting to kind of showcase somebody that has a love of motorcycles, is part of a club, but they're actually a ministry.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
So
I appreciate you having me on.
No problem, Bob. Well, everybody, again, it's Bob Roy. He's a member of the Christian Motorcycle Association. If you have any interest or if you would like to donate towards them, as Bob mentioned, their donations and their ministry helps people all over. It is cmausa.com. And again, his chapter is Soldiers of the Cross out of Middleborough, Massachusetts.
Correct. And they can go on that website too. It'll give them everything they want to know about where the money goes. If they donate, it's pretty straight up.
All right. Well, Bob, again, I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story. Like I said, I thought this would be great. I thought it would be really instrumental for people to understand that there's various platforms that they can use to pass the word on.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, for Bob Roy, my name is Scott Graham. Thank you for joining.